UFC Vegas 59 weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Main event, Thiago Santos versus Jamal Hill. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and share the video as well. We'll talk about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. Let's start it off with the first fight of the night. Mayra Bueno Silva versus Stephanie Egger. I have been on Bueno Silva throughout this week. She was originally a favorite earlier on, and now she shifted into dog territory. There is Stephanie Egger. Good shape on the scales. Very tricky judoka. It is a concern, especially now as more time is passing into the week, thinking about this matchup more, seeing the lines flip. There is a bit of concern, but is it? Bueno Silva, grappling-wise, can she find ways back to her feet if she is put on the mat? I am going to bank on yes. I'm also going to bank on her submission defense. Striking, she has a clear-cut advantage in the stand-up game. She has a powerful Muay Thai kickboxing style. I think she could hurt Stephanie Egger striking. I believe she will stun her. I'm not going to say she knocks her out. I don't think she finishes her. I feel like we're going the distance. 3 rounds, 29-28, win by a decision. Mayra Bueno Silva upsets Stephanie Egger, the dangerous judoka. As far as the lines, Bueno Silva is plus 112 best value, Egger minus 115. You want to go towards the prop side. We'll look at them. I do think over 2.5 comes through at minus 195. I don't necessarily like the prop of Bueno Silva to win by decision. I know some people will be leaning Egger by sub, so just list out the slate for you guys. It's sitting at plus 650. Egger wins by submission. But I am on the opposing side. I got Mayra Bueno Silva, slight underdog, but it's found at even money over at MyBookie as well. So very competitive matchup. Bueno Silva, decision, beating Egger, the dangerous judoka, getting another win in her UFC career. Cory, McKenna, Miranda, Granger. I have been on Miranda, Granger, and a lot of it has to do with the physicality advantage. It's pretty sizable. 5'7", 5'3", 68-inch reach, 58.5. We'll check the fighters out on the scales. And also note, on the money line last night, Jessica Rose Clark, training partner of Cory McKenna, was on. And she did talk about how McKenna's always dealing with taller opponents, whether it's sparring, fighting, etc. Isn't changing my pick. We're going to find out on fight night. I like Jessica Rose Clark a lot, but she's not going to get me switching sides here. I think Miranda Granger has a fair shot to win the fight. Now, looking at the face-off, something that I did notice when I looked at it originally, not a huge height differential. Granger, she's not super technical. She doesn't have great range management. But having that reach edge, I think she has a little bit of athleticism to match it. I think she's going to be competitive with Cory McKenna. I think McKenna's a good fighter, but very young in her career. I think Miranda Granger can pull it off. I mean, she does have a win over Hannah Goldie. And then you see lost to Lamoche, lost to Yoder. I think Miranda Granger takes it on the cards in a very competitive matchup. I see this fight being close with Granger's hand raised. The line is wide towards McKenna. She's minus 185. Granger plus 195. I'm going dog plus 195. Miranda Granger. I say we go over 2.5 at minus 255. I pick Granger to win by a decision, which is plus 325. Riding with Miranda Granger to get herself the win in a very competitive matchup over Cory McKenna. Let's keep on running. Next one, Jason Witt versus Josh Quinlan. I have been on the Maverick, Josh Quinlan, to win by KO all week long. I don't necessarily see the scales as being super significant here. We'll actually have to scroll past it. There's Josh Quinlan. He's got the flow, looking still jacked. Opponent, Jason Witt, good shape, tough wrestler. There's the face-off. Witt's got the wrestling edge. Quinlan, clear striking advantage. Sizable height difference. I mean, looks to be about 2 to 3 inches. Granted, listed at just 2 inches over in Tapology. A little bit of a reach advantage. Quinlan's very mobile standing up. I expect the striking to be on display. He might get taken down by Jason Witt, but I do believe he'll find a way back up to his feet. And even if he is controlled the whole first round, I think he'd be live for the knockout still in round number 2. I'm going KO, Josh Quinlan, leaning it the second round, but could also see it in the first as well. I like the knockout from the striker here. Minus 225, Josh Quinlan, plus 230 for Jason Witt. As we look towards prop betting this one, I think under 2.5, minus 135. High confidence in that one. Quinlan to win by KO, TKO, plus 120. Not a great prop, but it is a viable one. But I prefer under 2.5 rounds. I think the Quinlan side gets the hand raised by KO. Comfortable out of both stances, clear-cut striking advantage. I think capable in the grappling department to defend Jason Witt's style, and I don't think Witt striking is going to be able to compete with Quinlan. Jason Witt gets knocked out. Quinlan, KO. Next fight, Takashi Sato and Bryan battle. I have been on Bryan battle all week long, but we've talked about this. I have to see him on the scales. He comes in at 171. I'm very happy about it. Let's check them out here. Got the face off already, but there is Takashi Sato on the scale. There is Bryan battle. He looks ripped. And there's the face off. I think Bryan battle is well prepared for this matchup. Now seeing how good he looks on the scales, this kid's training his ass off. Special talent here. I'm not necessarily jumping the gun on him. I know he's the Ultimate Fighter winner, but the kid's good. I think if he gets this fight to the floor, there's submission opportunities most definitely. Bryan battle wins. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to go submission now. I'm switching it from decision to submission. Could see it sub or decision. Bryan battle, hand raised, Ultimate Fighter winner, and welterweight debut winner. He's going to beat Takashi Sato here. Bryan battle is very mobile with his striking and he's constantly moving. He's got a good wrestling base and very tricky on the floor. Sato, southpaw stance, bit of a power striker, has a pretty sniper left, but aside from that, doesn't do anything else great. And I think Bryan battle puts on a good performance here, winning his debut in the welterweight division. As far as the lines, Bryan battle minus 235. Sato sitting at plus 275. I like the Bryan battle side to get the win. Leaning at submission now. How good he looked on the scales. I say, why doesn't he get a finish? Plus 350 submission for Bryan battle. The over 1.5, minus 265. I think Bryan battle could be a quality piece to play on a parlay. And I do think he gets his hand raised impressively, beating Sato. And I'm very excited to see what the future holds for Bryan. Because 27, really coming into his prime now, constantly improving, getting the build right. 170 is the perfect weight class for him. And I think he wins here. Next fight of the night. Terrance McKinney versus Erick Gonzalez. Terrance McKinney's going to destroy Erick Gonzalez in one round. That is my prediction. 3 minutes or less. I've been on it all week. Regardless of the scales, that was what I was going to be on. But we will check out the fighters on the scales here. We have Erick Gonzalez coming in. Terrance McKinney on the scale. There is the face-off. Little bit of a height edge for McKinney. Listen, Gonzalez will need to weather a ferocious storm, which I don't think he's going to be ready for. I think Terrance McKinney stops him in 3 minutes or less. Explosive kickboxing game. You know, you can't doubt McKinney on the ground either. The biggest concern with Terrance McKinney is simply the gas tank. Not because I don't think he's fit enough to go 3 rounds. It's his style of fighting. Kill, be killed. And he's going to kill the majority of guys. I mean, he had Drew Dober essentially destroyed early. Dober weathers. Dober TKOs him. I don't think Gonzalez has the same technical abilities of a Drew Dober, the same toughness of a Drew Dober. Terrance McKinney with an impressive knockout in the first round's the official pick. The line is crazy. It's minus 750 McKinney, plus 650 Gonzalez. Not close. Not close at all. Where's our lines here? We need our line up here. I don't know what the hell is going on with fight odds. We're about to have to pull up best fight odds because fight odds is giving us some difficulty live here. Let's see. McKinney by KO. McKinney wins. KO, TKO, plus 125. I think that's a playable bet if you can find it at plus money. I think he does win by knockout. McKinney inside distance is minus 350. I think bank on the KO, less likely of the submission at plus 155. I think this fight's definitely going under a round and a half, but it's an ugly line at minus 245. McKinney, knockout, gets the win, and I really think this kid is a problem for a ton of fighters at 155 pounds, and he's going to beat up on Erick Gonzalez this week. Featured prelim of the night, Michael Oleksiejczuk versus Sam Alvey. Listen, we're on Oleksiejczuk all week. all day. The scales aren't going to do a ton, but I want to see Oleksiejczuk slimmer. He is slimmer here. I always felt like he was an undersized light heavyweight with good abilities, though. I mean, the guy did well against Dustin Jacoby, who's a killer. And, I mean, looking at that knockout of Dawoon Jung and then seeing Oleksiejczuk sit in there and land some overhands, I respect the hell out of Oleksiejczuk. There's Alvey. Looks like he had a bit of a weight cut in the face. He's looking kind of like a zombie there. I'm very concerned for Sam, but I will note this. He's always going to be a fan favorite, regardless win, lose, or draw. Unfortunately, he's probably getting dropped by the UFC if he loses here. Oleksiejczuk should win. I'm really leaning him to get a finish. You look at Brendan Allen finishing Sam Alvey, split with Terrance, which now looks pretty good. Marquez finishes him. Ryan Spann split decision. At 205, Alvey does do pretty good work, even later in his career, but he's on a terrible run right now. He's lost a lot of fights, 0-7-1 in his last 8. Oleksiejczuk, I think, gets the hand raise. Leaning it KO, but I could also see him definitely winning a decision here against Sam Alvey. I think Alvey's going to look to go out on his shield because knowing this is probably the final fight in the contract, I think he's going to unload everything. If he's able to win the fight, I wouldn't be surprised if they give him another couple more. But unfortunately, I don't see that happening. Oleksiejczuk just too technical. Southpaw versus southpaw as well, which I think plays in the favor of Oleksiejczuk. And I think Alvey's going to struggle standing and get caught with something on the chin. And I think he gets stopped here. Oleksiejczuk wins by knockout. Let's look at the lines for this matchup. Actually, let me attempt to bring fight odds back up, even though I don't know if they are working at the moment. Let's see. Let's get fight odds up. Let's see. Are we back? Yes. Fight odds is back. Good shit. Over a round and a half, -170. It's a fair chance of that, but I wouldn't want to throw down on it. I don't really love the prop side. I don't really like betting Oleksiejczuk outside of like a long shot parlay. Oleksiejczuk wins inside of the distance, sitting at +180. Oleksiejczuk KO TKO is +105. Odd to see Oleksiejczuk. Oh, Oleksiejczuk by decision +180. Inside distance, he's around -150. -120 best value. I think Oleksiejczuk wins. Definitely could see it on the cards. Leaning it by KO. Kind of pushing away from the betting side of this matchup. Respect to Smiling Sam. Love to watch him fight, but I don't see him winning here. Oleksiejczuk wins. And new career at 185. I'm excited to see what he can do. The main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure to smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe. It's Ariane Lipski, Priscilla Cachoeira in what I think is going to be one of the most violent fights on the card. I expect both girls to throw down. The Queen of Violence versus Zombie Girl. Fantastic matchmaking. I think Cachoeira presses forward and looks to bang. I've been on Lipski all week, though. I think she's the technically better fighter. Cachoeira, durable, tough, gritty, pressure forward style. But I will say, I don't want to say robotic. I don't want to say robotic. I don't want to say basic. There's something that Cachoeira does every fight. It's this similar hook combination as she comes inside. We know what she wants to do. Forward pressure, hooks, banging close, throw down. Lipski has a more versatile kickboxing game, 100%. I'd also assume she has the better grappling game, too. I think she's got the better jiu-jitsu on the mat. Leaning it, though, Lipski to win a decision. And I think Cachoeira will actually be a bit competitive here. As far as the scales, let's see if they change anything. I highly doubt it. Cachoeira on the scale looks intense as always. Lipski looks chill. And there's an intense face-off. I mean, Cachoeira looks more like the badass on the scale. But it's the fight game. It ain't about the scale. Look at that fist right there. Right in her face. She's ready to crack her. And I guarantee you she hits her with some left hooks. I'm going to say that Ariane Lipski wins a decision, but Priscilla Cachoeira doesn't make it easy for her. Looking at the lines for this one, -170 Lipski, Cachoeira +167. I mean, Cachoeira, she was super entertaining against Jin Yoon Kim, but she could have lost that fight. Over 2.5, -175, possible. Cachoeira wins, Lipski wins by decision, +170, likely. Maybe you're playing that line. Lipski money line, though, not bad, around -180. I am riding with Ariane Lipski to beat Priscilla Cachoeira. And maybe one of the better fights on the card. I think it's going to be the best female fight on the card. That's at least my prediction. But I do think there's a good chance. Actually, maybe not with that Juliana Miller-Brogan Walker fight. It's going to be a good fight, though. Let's jump to the next one. Augusto Sakai versus Sergey Spivak. Concerning matchup. Throughout the week, I've been leaning Sakai, obviously with some concern of Spivak. landing takedowns. It's going to be very dependent on how does Sakai defend the early takedown attempts. If he is able to stay upright, I think he gives Spivak problems standing up. If he is not, he's going to get slaughtered on the mat. I'm going to bank on Sakai still, or at least I have been all week, unless the scale really shifts something for me. There is the polar bear Spivak, who, I'll be 100% honest, looks pretty fucking intense. There is Augusto Sakai, looks mid-tier. There is the face-off. Okay, if you told me you're just facing off these dudes, who's going to win the fight? Like, I feel like Sakai is going to get the shit kicked out of him. Like, on the face of, like, I have this feeling now that's shifting. Spivak looks like a fucking savage, man. He's grown, too. His frame has started to fill out. Can he manhandle Sakai? I've been on Sakai as a dog pick all week, and I can't jump all the way against it. But I will say, right now, straight up, Sergey Spivak, if he's able to land takedowns early, is going to win the fight. It's going to be super dependent on Sakai's takedown defense from the start. Looking at the lines for this matchup, Sakai is a big underdog at plus 260. And what I liked about him in this fight is that recent losses, past two, have been towards really dangerous strikers. But as far as fighting a grappler like Spivak, how's he going to fare? I look at the Overeem fight. Yes, he was touched up on the grappling department, but Overeem does bring a bit of a striking threat, more so than a Sergey Spivak. Minus 220, Spivak the favorite. Let's look at the lines here. Over a round and a half, minus 135. Sakai by decision, plus 500. Spivak wins inside of the distance, minus 115. So it seems like heavy towards Spivak winning inside of the distance. I'm going to go against the grain and lean at Sakai on the cards, but I'm acknowledging now Spivak is a scary problem. And if you are betting Sakai as an underdog, I would say do it cautiously, especially heavyweight division. We'll find out. It's going to be a fight. Sakai, upset. Very concerned, though. Very concerned. Next fight of the night, the Ultimate Fighter Women's Flyweight Division finale. I am excited for this fight. It's Juliana Miller versus Brogan Walker. Good face-off between these two. We'll pull it up. I've been on Juliana Miller throughout the week. There is Juliana Miller. There is Brogan Walker. And there is a really near nose-to-nose face-off. I know these girls were kind of jawing back and forth throughout the day. We're going to get an intense fight. Walker does have more MMA experience, which is a fair concern if you're on the Juliana Miller side, but Miller definitely has a better jiu-jitsu of the two. How will she be offensively with the wrestling? I think she's going to find a way to get this fight to the floor and get dominant position on Brogan Walker. Kind of feeling like there's a chance of submission for Juliana Miller here. Granted, could see her going out there and taking it on the cards as well. Brogan Walker is very live. It's not going to be an easy matchup. 26 versus 33 is also something to note. I mean, there's a lot of, I guess I don't want to say like fighting experience. 7-2 and 2-1. When you look just at the records, you're like, oh, the 7-2 fighter. But you dig into it. Juliana Miller's done well on tough. I like her game. Brogan Walker's not going to make it easy. I'm going to pick it towards Juliana Miller in a competitive fight, but she wins it on the mat here and beats Brogan. Now, as far as the odds for this matchup, Miller's minus 115 best value, Walker plus 122. Very competitive fight. Minus 360 for the over 2.5. You're probably not playing it. If you want a Hail Mary, Miller to win by submission, plus 600. I think that would be the Hail Mary that you shoot for. Plus 600, Miller wins by sub. I don't think that's a bad idea. I like the odds of Juliana Miller winning the fight. Leaning at decision, but the submission prop is money. And if you want to go for more of a sprinkle Hail Mary, I think she could do it. Be the first girl to submit Brogan Walker as a professional, which would be very impressive and set Juliana Miller up right for a career at 125. Both girls, though, UFC quality, and I'm excited to see them fight it out. Juliana Miller gets her hand raised. The featured bout of the night is the Ultimate Fighter heavyweight finale. It's Zach Pauga versus Mohammed Usman. I've been on Zach Pauga all week, and I do like Mohammed Usman, and I do feel like it's tough to see a light heavyweight having success at heavyweight against heavyweights on the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, I feel like it happens all the time. We've seen it a lot. Usman is a big, strong guy, but he doesn't have great accuracy with his shots. There's Zach Pauga, who I really feel like has filled out well at heavyweight. He looks huge. There is Mohammed Usman, who's pretty fucking jacked himself. And there's a good face-off. Intense. Listen, Contract on the line, dreams on the line. Mohammed Usman is outmatched in the technical striking department. Zach Pauga, I think, finds the chin and knocks him out in the second round. He's going to be competitive early. I think Usman's going to look to press and maybe even outmuscle Pauga, but I feel like Pauga's technical abilities will be too much. Pauga gets the hand raised. I really like the stand-up, and I think his precision is really good. I think he'll find that chin, and I feel like he lands some decent shots, man. I don't necessarily think he starches him early, but I feel like he does start slowly wearing down Mohammed Usman. And you also got Pauga's low kicks that I feel like are going to be a problem. Usman is going to look to throw power. He's a powerful guy who's got a great frame. He's got solid durability, but I still feel like Usman's a bit of a raw talent. I know he's got more pro experience than Zach Pauga, but it's still something that I'm seeing. I think Pauga finds the chin. Knockout second round, Ultimate Fighter winner, and let's see what he does in the UFC. 5-0 guy, 34 years of age, but it's the heavier weight classes. Glover's in his 40s and he becomes champ. So Pauga's got time to make a run. We'll see how good he really is. I don't want to oversell him and jump at this guy's the next big thing, but when guys win the Ultimate Fighter, I'm always super interested to see how far they can take it. Let's look at the odds. Pauga is a fair size favorite at minus 245. Mohammed Usman sitting at plus 240. I like Zach Pauga to win, and I'm calling it knockout. Over a round and a half, minus 220. Pauga wins KO TKO plus 240, which I am banking on Pauga getting his hand raised. Let's ride with him, and let's keep running up. Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal. I've been on Vicente Luque all week. I expect a technical striking display to beat Jeff Neal. Let's see the fighters there. There is Jeff Neal on the scale. Looking kind of funny, man. He looks a bit out of it on the scale. Maybe it's just the pick. There's Luque. He looks intense and ready to rock. And there's the face-off. Listen, for me, Luque's got the better technical stand-up game. I think he's more of a finisher, and he's more dangerous than Jeff Neal. Granted, Jeff Neal is a southpaw, so it'll be interesting to see how the orthodox versus southpaw matchup plays for Vicente Luque. I think Luque definitely has the more dangerous grappling skills, too. Neal's pretty explosive and quick. I think he is a good athlete, but Luque, I think, the more precise and powerful striker. I think his kicks will be on display as well. I feel like he's going to win this fight by a decision. I don't think this is an easy matchup with Jeff Neal, but a winnable one for Vicente. Vicente Luque, hand raise. I'm calling it by a decision. I've been on it all week, and I will continue to stick with Vicente Luque. Minus 170 for Luque. Jeff Neal plus 169. I like decision here. Over 2.5 rounds, sitting at about plus 107. So the books are leaning towards this fight ending inside of the distance, but I have a good feeling of the fight going long. Luque wins by decision, sitting at plus 260. I will ride Vicente Luque for the win. Is he back in the mix? Potentially. He's going to need a couple more, but I think Luque's stand-up is a problem, and he's going to beat a Jeff Neal. He's more violent, he's more precise, he's more technical, and I think he finds success striking for sure here. And he's got the grappling threat. He's better in the clinch as well, and knees and elbows definitely favors Luque. Main event of the evening, Thiago Santos and Jamal Hill. If you guys haven't, smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Jamal Hill. He's been the pick all week. Nothing's going to change. Thiago Santos has lost his mobility because of knee injuries. I think it's extremely hard for him to get that successful offense that he once had, especially against a guy as quick and tricky as Jamal Hill, who also fights out of the southpaw stance. There's Jamal Hill. Looks decent on the scale. Santos looks really good on the scale. And there's a good face-off. Hill's a little bit taller. I think he's quicker. I think he's more in his prime. Thiago is dealing with the knee injuries. And even his win over Johnny Walker, his output was low. It was not a fun fight. Jamal Hill killed Johnny Walker in the last one. I think Jamal Hill's hands are going to be on fire in this matchup. And I think he's going to touch up Thiago Santos and actually be the first guy at light heavyweight in the UFC to knock him out. I'm saying knockout, Jamal Hill, third round. I think his hands will be on fire, and I think a lot of people are going to be super impressed by his combination punching. He is a really smooth boxer. Thiago Santos is a power Muay Thai style striker, but his mobility, as I said, so limited after the John Jones fight. He can't explode like he used to. I have a very hard time seeing offensive success for Santos, so he's going to have to be defensive a lot throughout the fight, but he's going to want to throw bombs, and Jamal Hill sneaks that money shot in, and he finds the sweet spot and KOs Thiago Santos. Jamal Hill, and he's a contender now. Winning this fight, he's seriously a contender. 3-fight win streak, knockout after knockout after knockout. keep your eye on Jamal Hill. I think he's a super dangerous guy, and I don't know how close to a title shot, but a couple more wins, could be looking at it. As far as the line, minus 280 for Hill. Santos plus 269. I like Jamal Hill to win by KO. That line for Hill by KO, minus 155. It's not a good line. Wow. Under 3.5 rounds, minus 235. I am predicting under 3.5. Jamal Hill wins. Money line, minus 280. He's more of a parlay piece. We will talk parlays right now. We're going to jump into the parlay section, but Jamal Hill winning that main event. And overall, the card, pretty solid. I'm excited for it. I'll be live for the whole thing, so make sure you tune in to that fight companion. But from fight 1 to 12, I'll be honest, I'm interested in seeing how each of these matchups go. Check it out. Live stream on the channel. Join that fight companion. Let's talk about the parlays, though, to finish things out. We need a quality parlay. We got to be smart about it. We got to keep it on the safer side. A Jamal Hill is a quality play. I actually am feeling pretty good also with Zach Pauga, Vicente Luque, and looking more so like Bryan battle's going to be on his game. Plus 266. I think this is a good 4 favorite play if that's something you're looking to do. Pretty high confidence on each one of them. Of course, you could remove one or the other. Maybe you're nervous of Luque versus Neal. You take them out. You still got plus 142. And I think these are all very winnable matchups. And then you go towards this one. Bueno, Silva, Egger, McKenna, Granger. I think McKenna, Granger probably goes a bit longer, over 2.5, plus 223. If you felt like you also wanted to add, still with Vicente at the top, you're now plus 388. Do you want to really go nuts and throw down everything? Oleksiejczuk and McKinney plus 530. But I don't necessarily recommend doing this. A Josh Quinlan plus 788. Do you want to go Dog City and look to attack maybe with any of the ladies? Bueno, Silva, McKenna, it's a close line. I don't know if I love the idea. I kind of feel like even an Ariane Lipski play wouldn't be a terrible idea, plus 1,280. I would lean towards sitting off of the Spivak Sakai fight because I am a bit concerned with Augusto, but if you did play him, brings you to plus 4,800 if that came through. But right now, we're playing lottery tickets. 2-3 fighters maximum to get yourself maximal profit. So I would lean towards 2-fighter parlay. Give me Jamal Hill. Give me Bryan battle. I would say those are my favorite 2, followed by Luque, who I think is also one of my favorites. Now after seeing battle on the scale, though, I'm real high on him. So you'd go Jamal Hill, Luque, great play. Jamal Hill, Bryan battle. I think this is a great play too, minus 132. And then if you added in Pauga, plus 142, maybe you have Luque as well, plus 266. I think this is a good way to do it. Keep it safe. Keep it smart. Have fun with your parlays. Don't go too crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this weigh-in recap show. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. Keep it locked in right here at MMA Experts. Share the video if you enjoyed the content. Make sure you also let me know in the comments what you guys think of the picks. And if you don't have anything to say, drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for you, boy. Much love, my people. I'll see you all for the full card live stream during this event. Tune into it. I can't wait for it. Thank you, guys. Peace. Much love. And I will see you all live.